Hello, here we are in a special edition of the Change Officer podcast. We have a huge honor to have with us today David Meltzer. I will stop in my introduction here because I have so much question for you. David, thank you very much for your time here at Web Summit in Portugal, Lisbon.
Oh, I'm just excited to be here, and let's get going.
Yes, there are a lot of questions I want to ask you about sports, about business, entrepreneurship, inspiration, content creation. But can we start with something new that happened just a few days back? And this is going to another universes with the Metaverse that Zuckerberg created or not created. So what is your 2 cents on that, on the Metaverse and Zuckerberg?
Yeah, for me, it's Zuckerberg's understanding of illusion. I think when we talk about the Metaverse, that we give meaning to everything we see, and the Metaverse itself, an alternative universe that is digitally created, manipulated, sold, and marketed, is simply an illusion which then can be placed upon the world that we live in. You know, one of the, I think, most interesting things is as we create or expand or amplify this Metaverse, I think it lends or tends to allow us to realize we may be living in somebody else's Metaverse right now.
So basically he took a word of multiverse or metaverse, and he want to impose it on our reality. This is what his take on the metaverse is. But what do you think it will bring to Zuckerberg and the idea? You're the expert and the influencer in media, the most popular 50 to 70 years old on internet. What is your take on the media move that he made?
Well, I think it's really smart. Well, first, you know, Facebook itself was getting a little bit stale. And so a rebranding is always an important thing in traditional marketing. But to rebrand the meaning of your company is even a more exciting marketing tool that he's been able to do, because now he can apply his traditional products that created this huge community that was based off of students keeping in touch with each other into an entire universe of his own, which allows him to have ownership, allows him to have all the advertising, marketing, and reset the rules according to what used to be Facebook. Now's the multiverse.
Okay, a lot of things will help there, but you just mentioned having the experience from the old universe to bringing it to the new universe. Your first universe was sports.
Yes.
And the first question for you, I think I ask you if I can ask you this, but did you inspire Jerry Maguire, or Jerry Maguire inspired you?
Oh, Jerry Maguire inspired me. It was based off of the firm that I was the CEO of, Leigh Steinberg Sports Entertainment. Cameron Crowe followed Leigh around for over a year. But it's an incredible love story that is based off of my mission in life, right? Jerry Maguire's mission in life was to empower people to do the right thing, to be kind, to be happy. And regardless of the most, I think competitive, scarce industry, the sports agency industry, here you have an abundant thinker, someone who didn't live in a scarce world. Jerry Maguire was the first sports agent that lived between limitlessness and infinity. He wanted to do the right thing, not just make money. He wanted to help people and have fun.
Wait. That sounds familiar. Having fun while helping people doing their passion.
Yeah.
You know someone?
It's so funny because I came up with that simple mission years and years ago. Yeah. And people ask me, why is that the mission? I said, because I've never met someone that makes a lot of money, who helps a lot of people and has a lot of fun every day, that isn't happy. So I got really focused on teaching people or empowering them to make money. So I'm very pragmatic and monetary about what I teach, but also how to be abundant and help people. I always have to have a purpose, a cause, some sort of impact. And then also rule number 6, to teach people not to take themselves so seriously, that you can find the light, the love, and the lessons, that pain, setbacks, failures, and mistakes are protecting you. They're not punishing you.
Yeah, but when you say lessons learned, you learned a lot of lessons. You learned a lot of people lessons about the passion. How do people find the passion? Do they find the passion, or passion finds them?
Oh no, passion is in them. See, you already are connected to and through the greatest source of light, love, and lessons already connected to and through it. And so I think in order to understand what we are, I tell myself every morning, I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am worthy. I'm just looking to see what I'm doing to interfere with it. It's different than saying I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to get wealthy, I'm going to get happy or worthy. Then you're actually focusing on what's missing in your life. See, if we already are, that's the main paradigm shift in my life, is that I believe there's a greater, bigger source than me that cares about me the same way I care about my children, except for it's all-knowing, all-powerful, and omniscient, and I'm not. Once I have that type of faith, now I can do whatever I want in my life, and I already have whatever I need. It's already there. So
Once very wise man said that you have to be patient to achieve your goals, because the 50% of it will happen if, let's say, you have 20 years, 50% of that will happen in 19 years, and then in 1 year you will get another 50%.
yeah.
Wise man said that. But how far you are from the 1%?
Right. There's a 1% of the 1% because it actually takes 18 years or 18 segments to get to 25% of the way there, which is very important because 99% of the people that do good behaviors, meaning they do things that are lended towards what they want, they quit before they get to the 25% mark because they start listening to three things. They listen to other people, they listen to what they don't want or what's already missing, and they quit. Then in that 19th year, it doubles from 25 to 50. Here's what's sad. At that point, of the 99%, the 1% remaining, another 99% quit. And then another 99%.
That's your 1% of 1% explained. But my question was how far you are, because your goal is to make 1% of people in the world happy.
Yeah, over 1 billion people happy.
Over 1 billion people happy. How far you are in that road?
So I'm about 5 years into it. So I got probably another 15 seconds. The only factor that it's not a stagnant linear equation, meaning that, I use 20 years as an example to show the segmentation. Yeah. But what happens is if you stick to doing the right things with the faith of knowing your what, your who, your how, your now, and applying your why. So the first year, you might get that percentage. Then it takes 11 months to double, then 10 months to double, then 9 months to double, and 8 months to double. So I'm about 5 or 6 cycles into my mission.
Into mission.
Yeah, of finding 1,000 people like you, who in your lifetime will find 1,000 to empower another 1,000.
This is what I'm saying to my friend co-host of the podcast. Take it slow. We have time in front of us. We have a most popular 50-year-old on the internet with us.
What's so funny is people cannot reconcile things. They cannot reconcile, faith and money. They can't reconcile patience and persistence, right? Yeah. People cannot reconcile.
Tell me about that.
They don't know how. And I think if someone's going to ask me one of the superpowers that I've developed as a 53-year-old, it's that I'm still probably one of the most persistent people. I've always been persistent. Not very talented, but very persistent. But I've learned to blend or reconcile my persistence with patience by detaching my emotions from the outcome and putting them into the activities, putting them into enjoying the persistence.
No, enjoy the way. One of your really good friends, this is what he's preaching, Gary Vee.
Yeah.
You learned some things about content team, and I wanted to ask you about your content team, what you learned from Gary Vee, because you came to him. He laughed a bit. You said, and then he told you about how creating content. And today, you and your team are posting 100 pieces of content a day.
At least, not counting lives.
At least, man.
Well, that's because Gary. Look, for a whole year, Gary. My deal with Gary is I got 5 minutes of his time a week.
Whoa!
So that, and I gave him the same back for his sports.
For sports, that's
but my favorite was this: the whole first year, I felt ripped off because he looked at my Instagram, and all he would tell me every time, he goes, "Oh, that's good stuff. Post more." He'd hand me back the phone. Post more, and I'm like, Gary, dude, people are laughing at me. I can't post more. I'm annoying people. Post more. Post more. Well, here I am, years later, and the advice I give to people. You can't post enough. Here's my rule of thumb. until you have annoyed and pissed off all your family and friends where they're telling you don't post, until that point you haven't even hit the minimum. That means you're finally posting at least a minimum. When you piss off your friends going, dude, you post too much. That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's because they are following you, whatever. But you know what? I even don't know the moment I started following you. I just know the value I got from your Instagram. I follow you mostly on Instagram and on podcast, but I got the value, and this is important. So what was there from you to Gary?
So for me, it was the sports agency side of teaching him what most people don't understand about sports agency, and it takes a long time, and you need a good you need to get the quarterback. If you don't recruit quarterbacks, you're never going to have a great practice. So all CAA, Rep 1, Athletes First, all came from Leigh Steinberg, by the way. And Leigh Steinberg, they all have the greatest quarterbacks. They have Ben Roethlisberger, Goff, Wentz. They have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
This is how you build a sports agency. You don't build it with the guys that nobody can recognize.
From the objective point of view, for me, it sounds the same. Gary Vee's 5 minutes. Oh, you're doing great, and you're fine. Oh, you just have to be there.
Exactly.
Get the quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah. Except for he couldn't make introductions to me. I could make introductions for him. So I have a little relationship capital value.
Yeah. Anyhow, I think there is really a lot to talk about. What about books? I just want to touch that. Speaking is something that you do for more than 20 years now. And first there was sports, then business.
Technology. And so I ran Samsung's phone division before I ran Leigh Steinberg. So I was in technology. In my first company in '95, we sold to Thomson Reuters for $3.4 billion in the internet. My mom actually told me not to take the internet job. I don't know if you remember this. My mom told me the internet was going to be a fad, and that if I took the internet job, that I was going to lose everything.
What are the takeaways from this? Don't listen to your mother, and don't listen.
Just because someone loves you.
No,
the takeaway is just because someone loves you doesn't mean they give you good advice.
Of course.
That's the takeaway.
Of course.
But always listen to your mom.
Always listen to her, guys.
Don't do what she says.
And what about the book writing? Book writing, I would say, is back.
Yes.
Like there was one gap on TV, radio, time, video games. But now the writing books. How do you write a book?
Yes.
How do you have time to write a book? This is what. Do you audio it, or how do you do it? Or what is
I help a lot of people write books because I have a strategy called Lessons and Stories. So I'm collecting lessons all the time, and I'm repositing them. I'm collecting them and building stories around the lessons. Then when I write a book like Connected to Goodness, Compassionate Capitalism, Unstoppable, Creating the Light We Love, or Game Time Decision Making, or my new book, Don't Do Business with Dicks, or the one I'm writing called Reconciliation, I just take the lessons that apply to the topic. I already have the stories. Then what I do is each chapter is, I do free trainings every Friday.
Yeah.
Each chapter is a free training. So I outline my chapter, then I speak it, then I transcribe it, then I edit it myself, add more stories, clean it up, then I send it to a publishing consultant who asks me more questions, develop it more, get 8 to 10 chapters, I read them all, I write an introduction, I read them all again, and write the conclusion. Boom, you got a book in 6 months.
Wow. That's a good advice. David, thank you very much for your time. I really have a lot of questions to ask you, and I hope to see you in Dubai in no time.
And we'll do another interview. Absolutely. We always have Zoom and other places to meet.
Yeah. David, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching the Change Officer podcast. Vuk Zlataru and Zeljkovic with you, one of the most popular business podcasts in the Middle East. This was David Meltzer. We learned a lot. Please take notes when you listen to our podcast, especially when we have these guests like major global stars.